Welcome, witches and witch friends. Welcome to the Witches Movie Coven. Yes, it is Wednesday. Yes, we talk about witches and witches in movies. I am Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. You might know me from The Witching Hour or Ghost Adventures or Richard-Lael Overnight. I have a new one out tonight. Or from carrying around Black Phillip all over the world when he doesn't even fit in my suitcase. We will do bigger introductions later, but everybody say hi. And then we got a little bit to talk about. Jason.
Oh, hi, big introduction. I'm Jason. I write lots of books. This is one of them, The Horned God of the Witches. Yeah, other than that, I'm a harmless drudge, but mostly spend my time writing.
Thank you. Richard-Lael.
I am Richard-Lael. Richard-Lael is one name, not two. If I were just Richard, I would be a... That's right. I am known as the Gentleman Psychic. I'm a psychic and a medium. I used to be a psychic and a small, but I gained some weight. With that, you may know me from a lot of things, Witches Movie Coven, of course, Ghost Adventures, Scared and Alone, a lot of things. Also, when I am not working on things that I have to get done, which is, I have time management, I am decorating and redecorating, and that's what I keep doing here.
Most beautiful decorator and redecorator I have ever seen on in the entire planet. So just don't underestimate that. And Heather.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me now?
We can.
I'm sorry. Wait, what was that? I can't hear you. What was that?
We're having a little mic problems a bit ago, so I'm hoping everyone can hear me well. I am Heather Greene. I am the author of Lights, Camera, Witchcraft. It is a critical history of witches in American television and films. So I enjoy watching witchy movies and all movies, actually. And I am also a journalist covering the occult and an editor at Llewellyn, working with crazy authors like Jason who won't stop writing.
Perfect. And
keeps you employed.
You will see Courtney is not here with us, but she is in the chat room. She's taking the evening off, but she's not really taking the evening off. So, hey, Courtney. Before we go any further with movies and not movies, Heather, Jason, you have competition on the hair thing tonight with Heather.
Oh, I know. When I walked into the green room, I was like, I feel inferior to curly Heather. Wow. Like, where did this come from?
No, so this is my natural hair, and I usually just straighten it because it doesn't like to look like it has its own personality, and I never know where the curls are going to go. Unlike yours, Jason, which are so tame and perfect all the time. So mine are like a bad perm from the 80s permanently. So they just my hair never got over the 80s. So I figure sometimes I let it loose and let it do its thing, and we hope for the best. So it could be this big by the time we end the show.
Let it loose, put in some giant hoop earrings, and we are ready to go.
Yes.
Some fluorescence, fluorescent clothing, and I'm some stilettos. I'm in.
I am loving it. That's all I can. I have hair envy. That's anyway. Courtney, we miss you. Now, everybody. We were going to do Satan's School for Girls this evening. Great movie that I was going to watch just before we did it, but this is live. And there was, unfortunately, a school shooting today, and we thought better of it. It just didn't seem appropriate to be going Satan's School for Girls on the day that there was a real school shooting. We like to separate our entertainment from our fact and our fiction and things. And then we felt really sad and we felt really bad. So then we thought, well, what can we talk about? What do we talk about? Some of our favorite movies. What are movies like when maybe life isn't going the way we want it, or we're in a bad mood or depressed about something or sad or don't feel well? Movies are magic. We're all witches and we do all sorts of kinds of magic, but movies in themselves are magic. So we would like you guys' input on this as well, all you chat room people. What are your go-to movies, favorite movies, movies when you don't feel good, movies when you're angry, movies when you're sad, movies when you want to get sexy? I don't know. We could go anywhere with it, except we're just not going to go to Satan's School for Girls. We will save that for another day.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah.
Before we do that, Patti, can I show off my candle and light it for our coven meeting?
Yes.
So I have this wonderful candle. It says Coven on it, and it was made by Dodie Graham McKay, who's a witch in Winnipeg and a good friend of mine. And she makes candles and sells them locally in her area in Winnipeg, Canada. But she often brings one down when she comes and stays with me. And she gave me this one right here, Coven. And I thought it would be really neat if I could light this every week now. When we have our meetings to support our coven work and our talks and everyone in our coven. That includes everybody here on the screen, Courtney, who's not here, and everybody in our chat, just for a really good meeting every week. So I thought this was a beautiful addition. So I'm going to light this candle right here.
Is that a little devil on it?
Yeah.
It's little devils and witches. Look at that.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful? She designs them, she makes them herself, and she does the whole thing and adds. This one has moonstone, clear quartz, rue, and vervain with soy wax candle. So, and I have a whole collection of hers. She's brought me different ones, and they're wonderful candles. If you're in Canada or have access to, she doesn't sell online, I think, yet, but when she does, I can let everybody know. But she makes wonderful candles, and she's a very powerful, wonderful person and witch. So I am just going to light this candle right now. Okay. I'm doing it off the camera because it has to, I don't want to burn anything down, especially my hair. And so now it's lit in support of our efforts tonight.
Yay.
So mote it be.
So
mote it be.
Courtney! Whoa!
Guys, I tried to take the night off.
The candle brought in.
I tried to take the night off. Oh my god, I can't. Hold on. There we go. I tried to take the night off, but I couldn't stay away because I miss you guys.
Yay!
Yay!
You're gonna make me cry now on the show.
Well,
like,
listen, sometimes we have struggles with our mental health, which I think is important to talk about always. That was today with what happened was one of those days for me, and I was gonna try to just decompress and take some time, but I realized that sometimes when you're in that moment, the best thing to do is to be with your family. So I turned on the podcast and I saw you guys and I thought, you know what? I need to be with my family. So I'm here.
Yay.
And so your candle already worked, Heather.
I know. Look at that. See, did you see that, Courtney?
I didn't see you. I didn't see that part. I turned it off and logged in before I saw you light it. So that's pretty magical. Actually.
This is a coven candle for us every week, and it's for our family here, our coven family. And then as soon as I lit it, you came into the into the chat.
Kind of magic.
That's
Kind of
funny.
magic.
I see people already. You guys are giving it. Well, Killing Tree makes me laugh out loud every time I watch it. Is that somebody else's favorite movie? We've got wait, Dracula, Stand By Me, The Lost Boys. Oh yeah, let's get all vampy. Let's get vampy.
Wait, what are we talking about right now?
Everybody's favorite movies, or movies like if you don't feel good, you're in a bad way, you're having a bad mental health day, or just a depressed day, or a sad day, or an angry day. They don't even have to be witchy. We're going outside of our lines today. What is a go-to movie when maybe you don't feel good or you just need to feel better?
And we're going to play psychic on everybody, and we're going to see if you can figure out what the favorite movies are.
Yes.
Okay, so Jason can't play on me because I texted him my comfort movie so that he could make fun of me about it.
But I never read your text. So
no, well.
Okay, well, who goes first then?
I think I know Richard-Lael.
Patti, you're the host. Why don't you go? You go first.
Okay, so you guys want to guess what my
Yes.
You know, I'm not good at picking one, but
Wizard of Oz and Bewitched.
Anything with Nick Cage.
True? Yes. No?
I'm getting there. I wanted to get her Richard-Lael or Jason had a guess.
Nope. You. That was those were my guesses. I might add. Goodness, there was one other one that I know that you really, really loved, but I can't remember what it was now. I can't remember.
Well, yes, you guys pretty much nailed it. Anything with Nick
Yeah.
Cage. Wizard of Oz, all-time greatest, definitively. Mine almost are. Damn Yankees.
Oh,
Damn
yeah.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
kid. And then my trifecta of like the all night at the cemetery movies is when they, and I still remember when they did Practical Magic, The
Oh.
Craft, and Witches of Eastwick all in one night at Hollywood Forever. And that
Wow.
night stays with me. It went from sundown to sun up. So I could clump them all together as one. But you guys know me well. Yes. Thank you. So those are my go-to, and they are all pretty much witchy, I think. So, all right, Jason.
Oh,
Wait, we have to
gosh.
guess first, right?
Oh wow, you're never gonna guess this. Ever.
Oh, I know what it is.
Well, it's not Anchorman.
It's Sword in the Stone, obviously.
Oh,
Oh goodness. I don't have a guess.
Courtney, I will say though, you're kind of in the
Max
right.
Thunderdome.
You're almost in the right time period.
Merlin.
That's a no. The TV show Merlin. Don't use your
Excalibur.
magic, Merlin. That show got old fast.
Excalibur.
Oh no.
No.
I
Well, she was close, and it's either got to be that or it's got to be a Disney movie.
I'm just saying that like the idea of knights was good, and that time period was close.
Yeah.
Wasn't this
Your
the one with
Highness.
the dwarves?
What's that?
Time Bandits.
No, that was Patty.
that was one of mine. I could give you $1 million. So
Think of a movie that starred a young man with pretty long hair, and like he was a
First
knight.
Night.
No, but closer.
Your Highness.
How about I give you a quote and
Yeah.
see if this helps?
Oh,
Okay. To
Mhm.
trudge, the slow, weary, depressing yet determined walk of a man who has nothing left in life except the impulse to simply soldier on. Okay, one more quote, and then you'll get it. For all of you are equally blessed, for I have the pride, the privilege, nay, the pleasure of introducing you to a knight sired by knights, a knight
A
who can
Knight's
trace
Tale!
his lineage. What's that?
Nice still.
A Knight's Tale.
Ah, yes, yes. In Greece,
That's a
he
great
spent
movie.
a year in silence just to better understand the sound of a whisper. And so, without further gilding the lily, and with no more ado, I give to you the seeker of serenity, the protector of Italian virginity, the enforcer of our Lord God, the one, the only, Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein. I really love that movie. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I
Clearly.
love that movie.
how in the world do you have time to memorize movie and write dozens of books?
Hated
Oh.
reading it.
I've watched that movie many times.
You,
It's a part of Ari and I's way of speaking to one another. We quote that movie.
all right.
And about
Yeah.
a billion others.
And about a billion others. But oh my God, A Knight's Tale always makes me feel better. And I think about it a lot, like probably every day.
You would be a good actor memorizing lines
Mhm.
because
No. This is as close as I get. This is it. This is my performance piece.
okay. So you guys in the chat room are supposed to be guessing as well. And sorry about your knee, Taya. That's busted out. Yes. Yeah.
Richard-Lael?
All right, Richard-Lael.
I
You're
have
supposed to guess.
three. I have three because if it was just one, everyone would know automatically. And I'm going to. You could just say it right now. You already know.
Adam's Family.
Yeah.
You
Every
already know.
Adams Family movie
Ever
and
except
show
for
and
the
cartoon.
animated movie. However, there are two other movies that are my go-to films, and I will give you a clue. They are classic. They star classic movie stars, like classic movie stars, and I will give you one line from each one. And the first one is, well, if I tell you this, you'll know.
Can we just guess and see first?
Yes.
Well, I would say the original Flash Gordon, maybe.
Those are nice, but no, those are not my favorites.
No?
No?
Baron Munchausen. I think that no.
That's another one that I really love, but it's not actually my favorites. I mean, it's not in my comfort ones.
I got to look at your birthday movie for this year.
They're black and white, and they are dark, and they are about Hollywood.
Not Nosferatu then. Okay.
No,
They're about Hollywood, but not necessarily witchy, right? They're
not
like
witchy.
Sunset Boulevard. Or,
Yes.
Oh yeah. Sunset
Oh.
Boulevard's amazing.
Number
Patty.
one.
Amazing.
All right, Mr. Mill.
Yes.
I'm ready for my close-up.
Brilliant movie.
Brilliant.
And number two is another one where Hollywood turns its camera on itself. It has fading stars and death.
The Love Boat.
I'm sure I've seen it. I just don't know. My recall is terrible.
You would know this one. I'll just tell you, I'll give you a line, and that one is it's Bachar in that chair, Blanchard in that chair. I've written a letter to Daddy.
Streetcar Named
His
Desire.
address is half. No? It's Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Oh, I have not seen that one.
Well, it's
been-
Those are your
but that was good
Yeah.
admission.
very good.
Those are my two, other than the Addams Family, other than Baron Munchausen. Those are my two go-to ones. I guess my third one is Psycho, but
It's a good movie.
one.
Though.
Psycho's amazing.
Yeah. When I was
you
a
know,
kid,
there's everything I love: old houses, fading stars, and death. I mean, that's not
since we are talking about films to cheer us up when we don't feel
Yeah. Hey, if that cheers Richard-Lael up, that cheers
They
Richard-Lael up.
really do cheer me up. It makes me happy. I love it.
All right, who wants to go next? Courtney.
That's me.
We have to guess.
The Killing
Yeah.
Tree. Move on.
The killer.
No.
Your Highness,
No.
move
Hold
on.
on.
Moving
Wrong.
on.
Hold on.
Anything not in the
talking-
70s
Correct.
or 80s.
Yep. We are talking right now about, I want to specify that my answer to this question is comfort movies, not favorite movies of all time.
It is
So I have-
Studio Ghibli.
Ponyo.
It's not. I have
Ponyo?
two. Nope. Two, and they are not, it's not one movie, it's like a franchise of movies. And there's two.
Does it?
And they're
Does it?
one of them is entirely too embarrassing. And
Does
that's
it
what
have
the one-
baseball in it?
Uh-huh.
You looked at the text.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't give it away.
One of them does.
Baseball.
Mhm.
Huh.
Yeah, but
Is it a classic? Like
Field of Dreams.
Well, it's a
Field of
classic
Dreams.
to
Field-
me.
8 Men Out.
Kevin Costner. You got a Kevin
is-
Costner thing.
It is not
Field
a
of
baseball.
Dreams?
No,
Damn
it's not a.
Yankees.
Nope. It's not a baseball movie.
No.
It's a series of movies,
A series of movies.
and baseball is featured in one of them. I have two series of movies. Yes, Tabitha.
Twilight.
Twilight?
Twilight
Is
is my
Rachel in
comfort.
that movie?
There in the first one there is. So specifically
Oh,
Breaking
alright.
Dawn, the second one is my comfort movie. And I put it on every time I feel sad. The other one, or the other set of movies that I watch, and I start with the second one and then I watch them through literally every time I can't sleep, I put it on, is The Hunger Games.
Oh, okay.
That's good, except for the third movie.
Yeah, I like the second one. The second one's my favorite.
Yeah, those are good. They're not feel-good films, though.
They're not, but for
Nope.
some reason I think the books I love so much. So anytime I'm in a reading slump, the first thing I do is pick up the Hunger Games series and then I read those again for like the 900th time, and then it gets me out of my reading slump. So the movies for some reason get me out of my insomnia slump.
Perfect. Okay.
Heather.
Heather. Ooh.
Oh, this is easy. It's The Wizard of Oz.
So I married
Well-
a witch.
Yeah.
So the problem is I can watch any movie and get lost in it. So I don't really have a single comfort movie that, like, if I'm in a bad mood, I put on. But there's certain types of movies. It really depends. I'm so bad. I'm a Gemini. I'm a triple Gemini, and I have 2 degrees in movies. So choosing something like this is like very stressful, anxiety ridden, and I just can't figure out what I would choose for a single movie for comfort, because I'll just watch a movie and that is comfort to me. Watching a movie is comfort to me. But someone said Wizard of Oz. Clearly, that's always my go-to for my like, if a movie could be a stuffed animal, Wizard of Oz would be my stuffed animal.
Oh,
So I'm definitely that would be definitely one. And then there's some certain types of movies and certain movies that will always make me have a fun time.
I know exactly the film. Let me guess. Your film is the one that you always kind of like it's the Muppets doing Wizard of Oz. You loved that one. That was your favorite.
Richard-Lael, if I could turn my lights out, I would, but I can't. Hold on. I may be able to read. Hold on a second. Hold on. There we go. No, but that's close because it's a certain type of music. It has to be a musical.
A musical.
That.
it has to be a musical, right?
And then there's a couple that I really love. So movie
Grease.
musicals that I really love. Grease, yay! Oh my God, Grease 2, yes.
Yes, Grease 2 is great.
2. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. You want me to be? You want my hair to get bigger and look even more 80s? Let's go Grease 2. Absolutely.
That's
So
a
those
good
are some of my comfort films, along with anything you guys put on, and I'll sit down and watch. So
to completely change the subject for 1 second, I'm getting weird over here for a second. I brought in for the first, this isn't a doll episode, but we're just going all over the place. I got a new Marie Antoinette from Rob and Christine. I put her there. She has never met Belle, my regular Belle. Belle just fell down. She knocked Belle on the ground.
Oh my God.
uh-oh.
I'm terrified.
She just said, let them eat cake, and threw her down.
She was like, I too love Twilight. Don't make fun of Courtney about it.
And then I'm hearing something crash over here. I'm just sitting here trying to pay attention to Heather's movie, but she knocked Belle on the floor. So, okay. Sorry, I did not mean to change the subject, but did you hear the crash? We could go back and go, there was a crash. Sorry.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
All right. So, what other kind of movies can we talk about? These people all our people chimed in the beginning, but not now. I'm still liking Stand By Me, Dracula, Lost Boys.
So many good ones.
What's everybody's favorite dumb movie? Because there are movies that we know are dumb, and yet we love them just the same.
Well, any Will Ferrell movie qualifies, because if we're in a mood, like we just have a rough day, because we're talking about movies that make us feel good, and because there's certain movies, if you're in this kind of mood, you got to watch, and that kind of mood, you got to watch. So if it's just like a rough day, and my brain, like I edited a lot of books, they're really difficult editing. My brain was thinking a lot, kids, whatever. And I just don't want to think. I just say it's a Will Ferrell night, and I put on Old School or Anchorman, or name the Will Ferrell. I'll even watch, what's the one where he's the Viking? Eurovision. I love Eurovision. It's the stupidest of the stupid of the Will Ferrell, and he never fails me to cheer me up and just turn my brain off, and boats and hose, man.
I gotta get me some boats and hose.
Boats and hose.
Like Deadliest Catch without the crabs.
I can do that with Will Ferrell. I'm sort of like that with Jack Black, though. Like School of Rock. I get that to make me happy movie. Jack Black always makes me happy.
I love anything Tim Curry. Of course, yes. Rocky Horror Picture Show, Clue, Legend. I will watch those. They're stupid, and I love them. I love them. I love them. All of them.
I think Rocky Horror Picture Show's on our list coming up soon.
Yes, yes.
And I also
my favorite.
I met Tim Curry twice. For those of you who don't know, I used to play Dr. Frankenfurter. And I had recreated the jacket with all of the little patches and the beads and the jewelry all over it. And I had this dream that I was standing on a street corner dressed as Dr. Frankenfurter, and we meet at this crossroads like this. and I'm going one way. Tim Curry rolls up in his wheelchair going this way, and he's all in black, and he has his black turtleneck, and he looks at me and he goes, "That's nice." And then I wake up and I laugh, "Haha, that's funny." And then he was going to be down in West Hollywood doing a reading of someone's book. And my friend, who's Italian, she says to me, "Baby, Tim Curry is coming. You must come down to West Hollywood. You must." I said, "No, I'm dressed like Frank. There's no way I'm going to go down there dressed like this. And it'll be hundreds of people. I don't have the energy." "No, baby, you must come. You must come. You must come." I said, "Fine." So I drive my hearse down to West Hollywood. Yes, I was driving a hearse, and I get out and I'm dressed as Frank, and I cross that street into, is it Soup of Books or Book of Soup? Anyway, Book Soup. So I cross, and there's maybe 10 people there, and nobody is dressed in costume. And then Tim Curry comes in and he looks at me and he goes, "That's nice." And I said, "Tim, it's so lovely to meet you." And he says, "What a lovely thing to say."
Well, you had a premonition dream about it. That's hysterical. Go to the Hollywood Farmers Market all the time when I used to go to that.
I've always loved Tim. A friend of mine who lived in Hollywood long before I did, he said he worked at an antique store out on Wilshire. I don't know if it's still there, but there was an antique store then. And he said he was working at the shop, and this weenie guy comes in, and British, couldn't tell if he was gay or not, but kind of queenie. And he says, "Why is this guy so familiar? Why is this guy so familiar? Why is he so familiar?" So this fella, he says, "Well, I'd like to take you and your shop to dinner. Come to dinner with me." So they're sitting there at dinner, and my friend goes, Oh my God, I know how I know you now. And everyone is like kicking him under the table because he was at the time very sensitive about Frankenfurter, and they're kicking him under the table. "Don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything." And he says, "You were in Home Alone too, and you were so great." And Tim goes, "Oh, I love that movie."
Funny. Sound of Music is a big happy movie for me too. Classic
Sound of Music?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Childhood. Yes. All the way up.
Absolutely.
I agree with the Will Ferrell movies big time, and obviously, as everyone knows, The Killing Tree and Your Highness. But I seek out, like, when I'm just trying to watch a dumb movie, I seek out those like awful, not even B horror, but like in the same vein as The Killing Tree, that are dumb on purpose, like movies like The Shark Exorcist or Velocipaster or things like that, which are so like the stupider they are on purpose, the more I laugh, and I love them so much.
I'm another big Will Ferrell fan. I love the Anchorman movies especially. I also think Anchorman 2 is a brilliant commentary on our society as it is now and does not get enough credit. But I also like a couple of other dumb comedies. I'm a big fan of Dodgeball, because if you can dodge a ball, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, right? I mean, it's just it holds up. I just saw it again 2 weeks ago. Like that era of comedy movies, for whatever reason, I really, really like, though some of the jokes have not aged particularly well.
Wow. Okay. Anybody else in the chat room? I don't know.
I did see some mentions of Scary Movie, and like how that franchise is stupid and hilarious. And I have to say, Scary Movie 3 had a chokehold on me for the longest time. And that was the one where they parodied like Signs and 8 Mile. Literally to this day, I still rap the 8 Mile rap from that movie because I think it's hilarious.
That's good.
I also saw Jurassic Park in the chat, and I have to say the 3 newest Jurassic Park movies are among the dumbest movies I have ever seen in my life. And Ari and I
Turn your light off.
Ari and I laughed inappropriately at the theater. At times we should not be laughing because it was so bad. So those are really fun to watch if you enjoy terrible movies with budgets of $120 million.
Those are among my comfort movies, Jason. How dare you?
I wanted the children to be eaten in the first one. I wanted
want
them
you
to
to
desperately
be-
be eaten.
No, no,
Let's
no.
defy expectations.
I hope a
So
dinosaur is behind you.
turning the subject off of Jason's slaughtering of the Jurassic Park movies is
They're bad.
another comfort area for me because you know, I have a moon in Pisces, and I love a good cry. And it doesn't take
yes.
much. So
Mhm.
you give me a good slice of life British movie or a rom-com that's like a good feel good, I will watch that. I went through a period where I was just searching up all the rom-coms. It's rom-coms or specifically even, and I highly recommend it if you like this kind of movie, is turn to the British. I call them small stories. They're slice of life stories. They're brilliantly done. Not too much happens. There's no dinosaurs eating small children like Jason would want. There's no giant gorillas or guns or anything like that. It's just these slice of life, lovely little stories, and they just you just cry throughout them, and you feel so good. And these are like there's one movie called uh Wild Mountain Time, and that's not even one of them, but that is like that. You just sit and watch this beautiful little story, The Dig, these beautiful little stories that come out of England, and you just cry, and there's love, and there's triumph, and it's oh so beautiful. Sometimes your soul just needs that. So I love those.
I agree entirely. And P.S. I Love You with Gerard Butler is the movie that, like, without fail, if I put it on, I'm hysterical and inconsolable for a full 45 minutes after it's over, which is it just like bleeds the poison from your soul sometimes. But that one gets me every time.
Yep. Someone said Love Actually. Someone else, Ghost is in the thing. That's not a British. It's these small Ghost. Oh yeah, there's times you just need to watch Ghost, I think.
Yeah.
But you know, definitely.
When I want to cry, I put on Cool Runnings, because at the end when they like lift up the bobsled and they carry it down the track, I cry so hard at that. Just like the triumph, you know, they've lost, but yet they still persevere, right? And they don't care that the German team is mocking them and being mean to them. And then everybody claps at the Jamaican bobsled team. It gets me right here. I'm not kidding either. This sounds silly, but the movie makes me cry.
Oh, I wanted, not one of my favorite, but I must say, just because I'm being in the moment, I just spent that night before last, the entire night at the Conjuring House. And I know you were there recently, and that was a trip. Not that those are my favorite series or even anything like that. I like spooky movies. I like haunting movies. Andrea Perron is a really close friend of mine who is one of the daughters of Conjuring. But I must say, good, bad, or indifferent, it was a trip to be in this house that there's been this whole series of movies on.
That is one of
in the woods.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite horror series. That series is so well done. It is 1,000% one of my top favorite horror movie series.
And you know what they have now that you could do if you don't want to rent the entire house? They have glamping. They have tents on the property. So you could do a yurt or a tent.
And they're right under the hanging tree.
Right under the hanging tree. And we spent a lot of times deep in the woods. It was awesome. Awesome. So, and it was pretty active.
What movie makes Richard-Lael cry? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, I will tell you what makes me cry. I had never fully watched Coco. I was on a cruise.
Oh no!
Yes, yeah.
I only saw a little bit of it because they were playing it from the Lido deck. And then when we were doing it for here, I was on the plane coming back from, of all places, Ohio, and I'm all in black, and I have my eyeliner, and I'm sobbing uncontrollably on the plane because it reminded me of all of my lost loved ones. And some Ohioan we land the plane, he saunters back to the back, and he's dressed in overalls, and he says, "Are you like some high priest of the Church of Satan or something?" I went, "Excuse me?" And he goes, "Well, I was afraid to fly with you because I thought you might be a high priest in the Church of Satan. Meanwhile, I'm crying over Coco.
You're so threatening. You're so threatening. Mhm.
You're so spooky.
A good cry, you cannot underestimate a good cry with a movie. If a movie makes you it moves you to cry. Now, I cry at commercials at this point in my life, but so there's no stopping me. And I never used to cry at anything. I watched the Titanic cold as ice, and then I had kids, and that was the end of it. So,
Cold as ice.
but
Cold it, like I just was shook when you
Cold
just
as
said
ice,
that.
yeah,
Can we
that's
just
funny.
go back to that because that was a lot. That was a lot.
Mhm.
That was a lot. Too soon, Heather. That was a lot.
I didn't mean it like that.
You
Actually.
said it so viciously too.
I was
Cold
vicious.
as ice.
I was vicious. Not vicious, but I did not cry at anything. I mean, literally anything. And as soon as I had kids, though, that was it. I cry at everything. I cry at Hallmark cards when I'm shopping for cards for people at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't underestimate a movie that moves you to that extent. It was like when people saw The Matrix. People came out of The Matrix wanting to just take control and do all the stuff and wanted to. They were revved up. It's movies that move people to that much. But a cry, when I saw Avatar, it was like an hour and a half of crying after. Literally had to be pulled and carried out of the theater after seeing Avatar. I was crying so much. I wanted to escape this planet and live with the blue people because their tree was so beautiful. And humans are ruining the planet.
Can I tell you guys one of my favorite movie crying stories that I have?
Yeah.
I went to see Marley and Me, and I had not read the book, so I didn't know what the movie was about, and I assumed that like I would cry a little bit because it's about a dog, but I thought it was gonna be like a quirky little like comedy, and I was taken aback entirely. And I was sitting, the movie theater was packed, and I was sitting next to a lady who was a stranger, and I was like snotting, like I was crying so hard. I was like, my body was like heaving. The snots were coming out of my nose. And this stranger lady was doing the exact same thing. And we didn't make eye contact. She didn't even look at me, but she could hear me. So she just picked up her wad of napkins and without looking at me, just passed them to me.
Aww.
And then we were both snotting into napkins together. So it was,
How romantic.
Yeah.
I see you, Courtney. We would be a mess in movies. They would be together. We would need an arc.
No, like it's the same thing with a musical. Like I'm so proud of the people doing the musical, I think is what it is. And I think of how their parents would feel watching them, and like they're just so beautiful. And so when they're singing, I'm filled with pride for people that I don't know who are professionals, and then I'm just sobbing. I'm a wreck. I'm a disaster. I can't do it.
I'll tell you, the most unfair movie is Up, because I cry like when that movie starts, right? So you're playing catch up the entire rest of the movie because you've already been bawling. I can't, like, we tried to watch it again recently, and I just turned it off after 2 minutes because it makes me way too sad. I just can't do it.
I was pregnant the first time I watched that. My hormones were everywhere, and that was a disaster also.
Those tears are probably still somewhere.
I drowned almost. Like it was really bad.
I don't like too sad, and I can't watch anything that's got meanness to animals. I can't. And we've watched a couple where like the dog got killed or the goat got killed, or cat got. You can't. My whole life I've never seen a Bambi, an Old Yeller, or anything like that. They shouldn't be mean to children either, but you really can't be mean to animals.
Unless they're touring Jurassic Park, and then all bets are off.
Were they mean to the dinosaurs? Were they mean to the dinosaurs?
Yes.
They're just annoying. They were just annoying. I know, Courtney, I'm a terrible person.
I don't want to hex anybody today, but
they're not. But they're like in a movie, so I don't feel bad because there aren't dinosaurs on the planet, and those kids would never go to a Jurassic Park because it does not yet exist. So
even knowing what I know about Jurassic Park, I would still attend Jurassic Park.
Well, I would go, but I mean, it's not real now. So, like, being mean to the children isn't really being mean to the children.
I mean, you could be mean to the children. Don't be mean to the dinosaurs.
Of
They
course.
didn't do anything to deserve
Of
it.
course. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum forever. That's just
Yes.
all thanks to Jeff Goldblum. Yes.
And he's Hades on Netflix right now. If you want to see what he's up to at
Ooh,
this
yeah.
point.
Zeus. He's Zeus.
Yes. Oh, Zeus. I'm sorry, not Hades. Zeus in Chaos, a Netflix
Yeah.
Okay.
show. Yeah, someone said with Colin Barrett said stay away from Watership Down. I tell you that cartoon wrecked me when I was a kid, so it was really, really upsetting. Patty, do not watch it. That's all I'm gonna say. Do not watch it, Patty. But there's two movies I was gonna mention that are watched every year in this house, not because of me, but because of my partner. They are his two favorite movies, and we watch them every single year. And my kids will mostly, for one of them, they run for the hills, and that's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. When he says we're watching it, if they're home, they go find something else to do. We're washing our hair. And the other one is Interstellar. Those two movies get watched every single year in this house because those are his two favorite movies of all time. And so I see those probably regularly now.
Close Encounters. That's in my top 10. I didn't even think about it because I haven't seen it in a long time. In my production company, we used to do a lot of sketch comedy spoofs for we'd corporate up, and we did so much with Close Encounters, like piles of mashed potatoes on bankers. Oh my God. I just love that movie. And the birds when I was a little kid. That was one of my favorites.
What is your favorite haunted house movie? Of the birds.
Haunted house.
Yeah, sorry,
Haunted
we're
house.
cutting out. Yeah, haunted house movie.
Can I pick a series and not a movie for this?
Sure.
The Haunting of Hill House was hands down
Good.
one of the best things I've ever seen. And in that same vein, like The Haunting of Bly Manor, even though it was not what I thought it was gonna be, that's one that made me depressed as hell after. And then Midnight Mass. All are excellent.
Midnight Mass was great.
Midnight Mass was fantastic.
But Haunting
That's
of
not
Hill
really a
House,
haunted house movie, though.
it's not. I'm just stringing them all together because I like them all. Haunting of Hill
Brilliant.
House, I watch so many times. I see something new in it every time I watch it.
I have a confession to make. I refuse to watch the Haunting of Hill House series because it is nothing like the book. I don't like that. I can't stand it. I hate it because the book is so good and Shirley Jackson is so descriptive in the way that she writes the house as a character. And the house is Hill House. They're not hills. They're not related. The people are just there for a sleep study. And the closest is the 1960 The Haunting. And then of course, if you're going for The Haunting, you have to also do the 1999 version with all of its CGI ghosts, but the set was fabulous.
Can I tell a quick story, actually, not about movies, but about Shirley Jackson and The Haunting of Hill House?
Mm-hmm.
So I have never read that book, and I've never owned that book. But when I moved from my old apartment to the apartment that I live in now, I moved across the driveway. So I was carrying in, the first thing I pack every single time is my books, because it's just in my brain the easiest thing to pack and the easiest thing to get out of the way. So I packed up my books and I started moving boxes over to the new house by myself. And after the second day of moving things, I went into my new apartment and I had a stack, I'll remember this forever, of 4 boxes in my dining room. And on top of the stack of 4 boxes was the book Haunting of Hill House, sitting by itself on the top of the stack of boxes.
Because it's ghost of Shirley Jackson saying you have to read this book.
Right.
It's so good.
I, at the time, was like, I don't own this. And how did it get out of the box of books? It was the first thing I packed, and I didn't unpack them yet. And can I tell you, I don't know where it is now. It's not on my bookshelf. It just disappeared. So I'm scared of that book.
Because now you have to buy one on Amazon and you have to buy a book.
I'm too scared.
Oh, The Ghost of Mr. Chicken is another one. I love that one too. No, you have to read that book. The Haunting of Hill House is brilliant. In fact, I love the way that Shirley Jackson describes it a little bit. She says, she talks about Victorian houses, and she says that Hill House was unlike other houses in that more normally you would build the house on top of the hill, but not Hill House. It's nestled. And then Victorian houses had their doors sensibly closed all the time, and there were rooms within rooms that didn't have windows. And she talks about wedding cake molding, and she says they wanted to squeeze every amount of light out of the room because they had shutters and velvet drapes and stained glass windows and a veranda and ferns and shrubs and plants, and the darkness encroaches upon you.
Mm.
Is The Haunting of Hill House a story about a real house or not? It's just
No. Shirley Jackson was she didn't believe in the paranormal, but she was brilliant in psychology. And she was most notably, what made her famous was The Lottery, 1940, gosh, was it 45, I think? And then she wrote the Haunting of Hill House. It's not based on a real house, but she has an understanding of how the house, you question, is the house haunted, or did they just see a rabbit? Is the house haunted, or is it just settling and the doors close on their own? You never really know. You never know. That's what was so brilliant, is that you don't know. And then she does one, We Have Always Lived in the Castle. It's not a haunted house film, but she talks again about the wedding cake molding and these two little girls who live in this house with their uncle Gillian. And there was a tragedy that had befallen them some years before. The entire family was poisoned with arsenic, with the exception of the two girls. And the uncle had some, but he didn't die. He just got really sick. And so the townsfolk were against them. And the house becomes sort of a character in and of itself. So Shirley Jackson, anything, you have to read her works.
I'll add it to the TBR.
Especially if you love architecture.
I do. Guys, I hate to do this, but my phone just gave me a notification that it's dying, so I did not come prepared for this today. But I love you guys, and thank you for being my family. Everyone in the chat too, thank you for being our family. I have to run.
Love you.
Don't run.
love you,
Don't
Courtney.
run.
Yes.
Just walk.
All right, love you guys.
Bye.
Hi.
Bye.
Funny thing about Rose Red is Stephen King, I think it was Stephen King, wanted to do The Haunting of Hill House and couldn't get the rights to it. So he wrote Rose Red, which I'm pointing over here because that's where the Rachel M says Rose Red. Rachel M wrote Rose Red, but Rose Red was inspired by The Haunting of Hill House.
The one movie, when you talk about haunted houses, is not really a haunted house movie, but it talking about haunted house movies invokes this kind of Victorian feel for me when we talk about them, even though Conjuring House is a haunted house movie that doesn't invoke that. But I think of Rebecca, which is one of my favorite Hitchcock movies. It's not a haunted. The house itself is not haunted. It's a Hitchcock psychological thriller, but it involves this, it's black and white, involves this Victorian feel to it with the characters. And so that's one that when you said it, the first thing that comes to mind is Rebecca, because I love Hitchcock and I love the feel of that movie. It's got that haunting feel, even though it's not a haunted house movie. But other than that, there's one show I'm going to bring up. This is not a scary movie, but this is not a haunted house movie per se, but it kind of is. There was a movie called there was a show called The Winter of the Witch. Patti may remember The Winter of the Witch.
No.
This was a TV show in the 60s for kids.
Really?
Yes. And basically what happens is, and it's a short, you can still watch it. So what happens is this mother gets divorced and she has like a 9-10-year-old son, maybe a little younger. And they move into this new town to start a new life. And they buy a house that nobody will buy because it's supposedly haunted. There's something wrong with it. So they move into this house. Well, as it turns out, the boy goes up to the attic and finds out there's a witch living in there. And the witch is up there because nobody's scared of witches anymore, and she has no job to do. And so this is a kids movie, and so she dressed like a regular, pointy hat witch and everything. She has no job anymore because nobody's scared of witches. What is she supposed to do now? She's jobless. The winter of the witch, the end of the witch. So this whole thing, she's depressed. He goes up there, he makes friends with her. One day she's in the kitchen making blueberry pancakes, and they're so good, these blueberry pancakes. The kid says, that's what you can do now. You can make blueberry pancakes for people. Make them for these angry church ladies that have come to the door. So she gives the blueberry pancakes to these church ladies that come to the door, and now they're happy. And he says, this is your new job. The new job for the witch is to make blueberry pancakes for all of the angry town folk and community members to make them all happy. And that's what she does. So the witch finds a new job. She becomes the maker of these magical blueberry pancakes. Do you see what I'm getting at here? This is the late 60s, guys. So there's an allegory here with the witch making pancakes, magical pancakes that make people happy. So a little Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds going on, but it's a cute little story about this house that is haunted by a witch that has no job anymore. It's a kid's special. I don't know if it's a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie. It's one of those, but you can watch it. It's called The Winter of the Witch.
Who doesn't like blueberry pancakes?
I thought maybe she was like related to Prince because he was known to make pancakes.
No, she was not related to Prince at all.
Yeah.
I would look it up. It's very, very cute.
I want to go back to one I just remembered, the movie that will make me laugh the most, and it's from childhood on. It's the original, and I don't even know the Out of Towners. It was.
I see that.
There's a remake of it, and the original one, it was famous actors of the day, like of the 60s. And
was that Jack Lemmon?
Yes, Jack Lemmon.
Jack Lemmon, yeah.
Maybe, and it could be a Neil Simon.
Yeah, it might have been. If it's funny enough, it's Neil Simon because he's brilliant.
It's like anything that could go wrong did go wrong, and I would almost like pee my pants just watching from childhood. This doll's beating me up.
Oh my goodness!
That's what inspired me to ask about haunted houses.
They're throwing my house around.
I can't think of a favorite haunted house movie. I'm like coming up blank. It's like driving me crazy. Like The Conjuring is the best I can do.
The Conjuring is good.
And I feel like that's too easy. Like I should be contrarian and say Eddie Murphy's The Haunted Mansion or something. But that would
Monster
be a lot.
House, Jason. Monster House.
That's a classic from when we were kids.
I think Monster House was like 90s or 2000s.
Okay.
Not when we were kids.
One.
Maybe you're younger than me though. Maybe you're
12.
you were a kid in the 90s, Jason, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What about 13 Ghosts? What about the mansion in 13 Ghosts? That's a haunted house.
That's a haunted house.
Never seen that.
Yeah, that's a good house. Funny.
1960s and a 1998, I think. Anyway, Miss Patti.
Oh no, I was just going to say the house made me think of another one that makes me maybe because I own a house from 1920, The Money Pit. It's like an 80s.
No, Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, right?
Yes, that's who it is.
Beetlejuice is a haunted house movie too, isn't it?
Yes, I can't wait for the new one.
Yeah. Someone said here, who is it, Tabitha? Deliverance is a new haunted house movie. I don't know about that, depending on where you are.
Yeah, Jack Lemmon. So anyway, wow, we have used a whole hour and not talked about any specific movie or witchy movie, but this was kind of fun. So before we go, I know we all have different things coming up. Anybody have anything coming up that they want to talk about, Richard-Lael?
I do. So I'm going to Scotland next year. We need you to book rather soon because the window is closing. So July 15th through the 25th, 2025. We have a limited number. We have only like 20 people who can go. We are at 5 or 7. I don't know what we are at the moment, but we've got a great deal. You can click the link there for more information. There are it's great. 10 days and we stay in 4-star hotels. There'll be a paranormal investigation. There will be some some free time, lots of spirits, lots of alcoholic libations, I'm sure, and a lot of fun. You can be there with Raven Sinclair. You can go right up there to that little thing right there, and you can scan it.
Click. That is good. Okay, Jason.
I will be in Las Vegas October 18th at the Witches Soiree Ball. I'll be doing their Samhain ritual, which I'm very excited about. And then the following weekend, I will be in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Wow, that was the ghost.
I don't know. My house is going crazy. Just ignore me.
There's crazy things going on. I'll be in Cedar Rapids, Iowa with Evo Dominguez Jr. doing rituals and workshops for an entire weekend.
Ooh, thank you. Heather.
I am really excited because in 3 weeks, I think it's 3 weeks, I will be in Charlotte to speak about the the witches of the Wizard of Oz in film and television for over 100 years. I believe the movie is celebrating its 85th year this year, and so I will be there doing a lecture on those witches. And I hopefully will get to see some other talks on the Wizard of Oz, and I think that is it for September. And I just also want to show that another thing that I am going to be doing this next couple weeks is repairing a whole lot of dolls and this one you can see needs some repair. Talking about dolls, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in my doll shop repairing a bunch of dolls. Thank you to Rob and Christine for sending me this wonderful lot of little dolls that need some tender loving care. So I'm going to be in my doll shop a lot this month too as well.
Watch those dolls close because they're going to push the other dolls around.
Yeah, be careful.
Right?
Oh, he's cute.
He is. He just needs a little repair. That's all.
He's terrifying.
Oh, I've got ones that are far more terrifying than this one.
Oh.
I actually have a new haunted doll in the house, so we can talk about that another time, Patty.
Oh, I've got one more thing. I just had the cover to my 10th book officially released just yesterday, I think. Yes, it was just yesterday. And
Brilliant.
Rob says he'll put it up maybe. And if not, then this bit was all like completely wasted. But my new book is a biography of Raymond Buckland called High Priest, Raymond Buckland, the father of American witchcraft. And I'm very excited that it's going to be out next spring. And seeing the cover is always a big deal.
It's a beautiful cover. It is a beautiful cover. Imagine the beautiful cover. Oh, he thought you were holding it up.
Oh, no, I don't.
The greatest part of one of the best parts of the job is when I get to do the cover reveal for authors and they love their cover and they share it. It makes the whole thing so real. And I know from my own self going through it, when they showed me the cover of my book, it made it so much more real and not just like this exhaustive, like I just done, this is actually happening. There's a cover.
When I saw that, oh my God, it's like, you're right. It's like real. It's like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful cover I've ever seen. So yes, but I don't know where yours is, Jason.
It's lost. It's lost.
No, it's a gorgeous cover. I can't wait for your book, Jason.
Cover. So anyway, though, that's where I am going to be. Actually, in 5 days, I'm leaving for the UK. Tour the Willard and Worms. Dragons and witches. Every place we're staying is haunted. We're doing paranormal investigations, rituals, stones.
There it is.
It is.
It took a minute.
Yeah, there it is.
Beautiful.
Very satanic panic.
Hey.
Very nicely done.
Sorry.
So anyway, that's I'm going to be in the UK, so I'm going to miss a week or so, I think, being here. Then I get back. I have Warren's Paracon, Ed and Lorraine Warren Conjuring House, which is going to be at Gettysburg, my first time there. Then I've got Massachusetts Paracon, and I don't know. So like us, follow us, find our websites, do our social media because that makes us happy. Tell us what movies you want to see. And we will again next week, correct? Pick up Satan's School for Girls.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm here next week. Wait. I don't even know what day it is. I haven't gone to bed in 2 days. Literally.
But Miss Patty, beauty sleep is only for those who need it, and clearly you don't need it.
Boom.
I could turn that completely around opposite. Beauty sleep is for those. Yeah, never mind. dolls are falling. Your candle did really good, Heather, and it brought in Courtney. So you guys have your happy movies, and life isn't always happy. Things happen, horrible things happen, sad things, scary things. Movies are escape, television are escape, and education, and so many more things. So keep coming back to the Witches Movie Coven. I guess we're gonna cackle. Oh,
No,
we don't.
let's do ones up. We'll just do ones up.
One's up.
Yeah.
For movies.
Just one's up for
Movies
movies.
For movies and family.
One's
and
up for
family.
movies and family. Family, real, created, coven.
I don't have a wand with me, so I have my telephone.
Telephone's up.
Hello? Is it me you're looking for?
I love that. All right, you guys,
Everybody.
have a great week. I don't think I'll be